Hello, I'm Robin Vincent and welcome to Molten Music Technology. It's the summer and I just wanted to update you on what the heck is going on with the channel, where we want to be heading, what's coming up, what does the future hold, and why we should all be getting excited about it. Summertime is, generally speaking, in this sort of industry, a bit more of a quiet time. Everyone's cleared off to go to other places to have a bit of a rest and a sit down, and I'd like to do the same. We also have kids running about, schools out for the summer, and so one's ability to focus entirely upon the making of electronic noises and beeps and other synthesizer related stuff is a bit tricky. But before anybody panics because of the lack of video content output, I just wanted to share where we are and where I think the next 6 months are going to take us. And having put together this list, I can't quite believe the amount of stuff I reckon I'm going to have a go at. But hey, that's what we're here for, so let's give it a go. First of all, I wanted to give a quick shout out to all my patrons out there who are a glorious bunch of people. They've stuck with me over, I can't remember how long I've had the thing open now, but they've stuck with it, stayed with me, and I'm enormously thankful. You know, each of them in their own way just giving me a little bit of support, a little bit of cash, a little bit of something just to keep things bubbling along. And it's enormously reassuring to think that people will actually put their hands in their pockets and just throw you a couple of quid. It's easy and it makes such a difference, a huge difference. I mean, my Patreon thing is not very big, there's not masses of people, but there's a great little hardcore group of people who just make me smile every day, and that's awesome. And you can be part of that, you know, if you want. But if not, I'll just keep churning out the stuff for as long as I can. And so here's what we've got coming up. In the world of synthesizers, hardware synthesizers, I have a bunch of synths that I've put together now that I'm still trying to mold into some kind of workable synthesizer, synth pop workstation. And I've done the video on the ARP and the drone, which I think both really went rather well. But the amount of time it takes to put all that sort of thing together in my kitchen, which I thought was an ideal venue, is just a bit too much. So I'm trying to build together some kind of workstation over there so I can have that stuff a lot more accessible, because a bit of a theme that's going to come through this update is that time is really troublesome, and there's a lot of stuff that I would like to do, love to do, would thoroughly enjoy doing, that time is just squeezing out. And so in everything that I do, I have to take steps to make it more efficient, to cut down on the prep time and the general faffing about. And so hopefully I can do a bit of that. So yeah, I'll be making a bit more music with the synthesizers as we go along, but I also want to be doing individual reviews. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the Behringer MS-101, or the MS-1 as it's now known. We're talking about the IK Multimedia Uno. We also have a modal craft synth and a modal sculpt. I have a Microfreak, which happens to be sitting here, from Arturia, and a Rare Waves Hydronium. And who knows, more synthesizers might turn up to join this little crew. But what I really like about this setup is that these are all good value, budget, entry-level synths. This is not a $10,000 studio. This is a bunch of little attainable, achievable, obtainable synthesizers. And what I hope to show is how possible it is to do interesting things with these little machines, as well as giving you my full, unadulterated, painful opinion on every single nook and cranny. What's missing from that whole picture though is a drum machine, and this is starting to cause a bit of a distraction, because I can use my Eurorack as a bit of a drum machine, but it would be really nice to have something in there as a hardware device that's going to work with all of those. So as I start making more music with it, I don't have to reach out into software or reach out into the Eurorack. I can keep everything within the desktop synthesizer domain. So if you have any ideas about that out there, your favorite drum machine, or you think something that I should be using, then do let me know in the comments below. Or if you're a manufacturer out there who just happens to make a drum machine, then, you know, get in touch. I only need the one, so whoever gets in there first could have all of this awesome content created with your drum machine and also get a review out of it as well. I mean, that would be great. Or failing all that, I might just have to go out and buy one. Also in the realm of synthesizers, well, actually it's a keyboard, well, it's a MIDI controller, I have a full review coming up of the Nectartech Panorama MIDI controller keyboard. Why is that interesting? Well, because it's interesting to compare it to the complete control review that I did a year or so ago, because the Nectar Panorama keyboard has some special secret sauce inside, which is its ability to control doors. Not in just an old Mackie control kind of way, but in a much deeper, more integrated level. And I want to explore that at depth if I can. They also have their own plugin format called Nectarine, I think it is, and that allows you to map all the controls instantly and automatically to any third-party plugin. And that also interests me a great deal. So I have a full review of that coming up very, very soon. In Eurorack then, yes, Eurorack is still probably the most awesome thing I've ever encountered. It really has inspired me like nothing else to create music, to explore sound, to understand synthesis, to really get underneath what it's all about. But it's also a bit expensive. So coming up in Eurorack, I have a review of the Erica Synths Black Stereo Delay. I have a review of the weird Genki Instruments Wave thing. It's a ring, it does modulation via a little module in here and then spreads CV out through stuff. So we're doing a full review of that, the CV version. Other people can do the whole MIDI control thing. I'm interested in how it works in my Eurorack. I will have soon, hopefully, on its way to me, the Pittsburgh Modular Voltage Labs thingy. Not the entire instrument, I just opted for the voice on Kickstarter. I invested in that. I thought that was the most fascinating thing I've seen in a long time. And that should be shipping soon. Soon, I think, and it'll be on its way to us. So I'm going to have a big deep dive look and review of that. Then moving on to Eurorack DIY. I have a couple of projects I want to do. I've got a Bafako one, at the very least. I think it's the kinky thing. Not quite sure what it does. I'm going to find that out, obviously. I've also got the Touring Machine Pulses, which has all of that surface mount soldering that I'm going to use as a practice before the Deckard's Dream. Because the Deckard's Dream is still bubbling away. I'm just waiting on the components. They should be ready about now, but because I'm going away on holiday, it's just going to be delayed a week or two, and then they'll be shipped over, and I can start on this thing. Oh, I don't know, will we be here this time next year and I'll be going, right, I've just got one more voice card to do. I don't know. It's a massive project, and I've already got a couple of videos out there as the preparation moves towards it. Now I just need to practice, need to get my technique, my filming, my soldering down so that I can embark on this enormous synthesizer build. The other thing I want to inject in there if I can is a little DIY case build. I've got a lovely little vintage suitcase kind of thing that I want to build a rack into. I think that would be great, and I want to do that. I'm ready, eager to get stuck in. You know, it'll be a saw and screwing things together and stuff. It's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And also, while we're talking about that sort of thing, I should mention that I am at Synthfest this year, up in Sheffield in October, where I'm going to be there as part of the Sound on Sound crew. And I'm like doing a seminar. I'm doing how to get into Eurorack type seminar. So if you're interested in Eurorack, fascinated by it, not quite entirely sure how to approach it, then come along to Synthfest in Sheffield. Come and see me, because I'll be giving the lecture. I might even have a PowerPoint. Well, I'm definitely going to have a few bits and pieces to play with, and I'll take you through it. It should be great. It should be great. I'm really, really chuffed to be asked to be part of it, and massively looking forward to it. The audio PC. Yeah, this is an interesting area. It was something that I filmed a little while ago that I've just started editing down in order to put up, and it's all about building your own audio PC. It's attracted a lot more attention than I kind of initially thought, because my process was I'm just going to put these videos up and then I'm going to really sort of work on it and market it properly later on, because I want to build a web page for it and create a website which will probably be theaudiopc.com, and have all that information there that I can keep updated with specs and lists and advice and stuff around it, so that it can be a useful resource for anyone building an audio PC. But it's already created a bit of a stir, which is very, very interesting. So I have a couple more videos on that to come, the physical building of the thing, the testing and tweaking and that kind of thing. But I also feel that I need to talk about the specs more, because they were the questions that I get more than anything else. What about the specs? What about this? What about that? Because my thinking behind the videos I've done so far is that I don't actually want to be specific, because if you do so, then it gets dated and obsolete very quickly, and I wanted these videos to give an impression of how you should approach the building of an audio PC, not exactly what you should get, if that makes sense. So I think I might put another video in there just expanding on that a bit, but also talking more specifically about the specifications. And those are the sort of things that I will translate to the website, which can then be much more easily updated than having to remake the video every 6 months, if that makes sense. So I have more videos on that to come. I just need to edit it down and put it all together. Coming soon on the Surface Pro, I am going to be looking at a bit more software. Oh yes. First of all, Bitwig, the grid part of Bitwig 3, it's very interesting. I'm probably going to be using that in conjunction with my synthesizer jamming and synthesizer bits and pieces, because I don't have a satisfactorily hardware sequencer, really, not to run this amount of gear. And also it can be a temporary drum machine while I'm still waiting for some kind of decision on a drum machine. And via the Complete Audio 6 can also generate some CV and bits and pieces. So the Surface is very much still part of what I do and what I use, and I want to continue to portray it as a platform for music production for as much and as long as people are interested. And I'll keep stuff going. I also want to do sort of short, snappy reviews on VST instruments, because there's lots of them all the time. And they don't all need me to spend 3 weeks investigating them before I do a review. I need to streamline a bit, to get a bit more efficient at checking something out, forming an opinion, working my way through it, and then presenting it as to what I have found with this synthesizer. So I hope to do a lot more in the virtual instrument domain over the coming weeks and months. And also hopefully demonstrating how various DAWs and other bits and pieces interact with the Surface Pro going forward. And then in amongst all this stuff is going to be lots of jams, lots of music making. I've still got open mic nights to go along to try that stuff out. And I just want to keep on making music. I have this bubbling desire, which is getting bigger all the day, to write a whole different areas of music. There's a whole synth pop thing I want to do with all these little synthesizers. I think that's great. I could write 3-minute pop synth songs, while at the same time looking at the Eurorack to be a little bit more cerebral, to be bigger, more ambient perhaps. I don't know, explore different things, because that continues to evolve. More modules turn up, other bits and pieces. The way that you put it together, take stuff off here, put that in there. The way that evolves is extraordinary, and the possibility and the potential for musical awesomeness is just huge. So I want to keep poking at it and see what comes out. And of course, as always, I'll be bringing you my Molten Music monthly news roundup from the month that came before, to highlight all the products that I thought were interesting or worth talking about from the last month. And then we will follow that up with the following Sunday with the live stream. The live stream still keeps on going. It's great. I don't know how it happens. I sit there and I talk for hours and communicate and answer questions, and we have a bit of a time, a little bit of music, a little bit of messing about, a little bit of personal abuse. It's great. I'm really constantly surprised about how sort of well those go. And that is all, largely down to you and your interaction and your questions and your comments that spark me off down different avenues of talking. It's a great thing, so I will continue to do that. This month, we're talking about August. I will do, hopefully, a Molten Monthly at the end of August, following it up with a live stream. Still plan to do that, even if there's not a whole lot of other content which appears this month. But if I do anything decent, half decent, I'll throw it up there. But I think for this month as a whole, there's some holiday time, as I say, some family time. I've also got shed loads of paperwork to wade my way through. And I need to prepare the space I'm in, which is a flipping disaster, into a better place for creativity. So in that regard, don't expect anything particularly awesome this month in terms of video output, but who knows what may happen in that time. And then we'll start afresh in September and just get stuck in. I mean, the amount of stuff I've got on this list means we could easily fill 6 months. I mean, if I do one video a week, it'll take us into the new year. So, there's plenty to be getting on with. And I'm forever open to new ideas, new thoughts, new products. If somebody wants to send me something, I will try it out and tell everybody about it. It may take some time. I can't always do things straight away. Some things just take longer, but I will get to them eventually. So I think that'll do for now. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, or you can contact me via all the usual sort of places, because I'm everywhere. You'll find me on Twitter down here. I'm on Facebook, obviously, as Molten Music Technology. You can reach me via the website, email, contact forms, that kind of thing. Or if you want to get a bit more personal, then do join me on Instagram. My Instagram account is under my name, not under the Molten Music Technology name. And on there, I combine all sorts of things about my own life, things I've just made. Look, I've made a salad, or here's a picture of my kid jumping up and down, or here's a synthesizer, that sort of thing. So Instagram for me is much more of a kind of a stream of consciousness of whatever it is that I'm doing at whatever time. So if you want to have a bit more of a rounded view of what I'm doing, sort of week to week, then follow me on Instagram. That's fine, I don't mind. Otherwise, stay tuned on YouTube and just wait to see what happens. If you do find what I do helpful in one way or another, then please do feel free to check us out on Patreon and maybe throw us a few dollars. You don't have to sign up forever. You can just throw me enough for a beer and then move along. Who knows? But all of those little bits and pieces are enormously helpful. And in the meantime, go and make some tunes.